on every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night in the country right now. There's a bride and a groom, or just two humans looking at each other and going, this is the moment we've been waiting for. And they choose that song.
And they're literally dancing to your voice.
To my voice. The song that I wrote,
it's mind-blowing. What's up, y'all? I'm saying y'all because we are still in Nashville, and today's episode, I have Spencer Crandall here. And I'm so freaking excited. You guys might have heard of him because you have been blowing up on TikTok lately. And I'm just so excited that you came in studio because you're in the middle of a freaking tour right now.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hell yeah. Okay, so you were just explaining to me before this interview started that you were in 12 cities in 9 days. Yeah. What the hell?
It's been a lot. My back hurts, but we're here. It's been a crazy couple of weeks where we had some shows on the tour. We did this thing called Live in the Vineyard for CMC out in Napa, which is super fun. I've never been in Napa. Some wine tasting, delicious food, but all that led to, literally 12 different states in I think 9 days.
How do you do that? So you do 2 shows a day almost?
Well, there's a lot of like driving through or like staying in a state. So we'll get done in Chicago, but then you drive to like Indianapolis and stay the night, and you wake up there and start driving again. So getting through all those states. We did 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Went to California, but had a bunch of layovers and stuff, and then had another 2 shows in North Carolina and Atlanta, and then back to Nashville. So
oh my gosh.
Throughout the whole thing, including some layovers and stuff. 12.
And then where do you go to next?
This weekend will be Columbus, Indianapolis, and Detroit.
Are you tired?
Kind of, but the fun part is like, nobody could do anything for like 2 years. Right. So it feels so fun to be out there. Even when I get tired, I'm like, well, it's way better than just sitting on TikTok live in like the middle of the pandemic. So I try to remind myself of that feeling.
At the same time, though, I feel like that's how, you're blowing up recently is because of TikTok. And how do you think, TikTok has helped transform your music career?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I have never felt anything like TikTok. I've been doing it for maybe like 7 years. So I was a part of like early Instagram, some Facebook and Twitter stuff. But for the most part, those apps were like reaching your own people. It was really hard to like outkick your coverage, if you will.
Absolutely.
But TikTok makes it's just democratized. It's like, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. So I just got on, I started posting, especially original music stuff, and gotten really lucky with a bunch of videos now, and it's kind of changed my life. I just hit 100 million streams as a independent artist.
Let's go, 100 million streams. Okay, well, we have water, but cheers to that. Holy
Thank you very much,
Spencer.
Thank you.
100 million streams.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you think you credit that? I mean, obviously you're talented as hell, but do you credit a lot of those streams from TikTok?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, like pre-TikTok, we had some stuff going on, but I think that app fast-tracked my music to my target audience. It changed the game. It's the best marketing tool I've ever used. I got really aggressive with it. I remember I was like kind of anti-TikTok at the beginning because I got on the app and I was like, this is obviously not for me.
Let's do the dances.
Yeah, my little sister's like, you should get on there. And I'm like, I'm not a 13-year-old girl who dances in her room. No, thank you. She's like, no, I'm seeing like music on there and stuff. So I did, and then
when was that?
This is like 2019, maybe the fall.
Oh, so you've been on TikTok for a long
time.
Got
on a little bit early, and that was really helpful.
Helps.
It was very helpful. So I started this thing called the My Person Challenge. I have a song called My Person.
Of course.
And it's a love song, and so I'd have people like make these little slideshows of them and their person, and it went from 1 video to like 100 videos to like now, I don't know, like 250,000 videos have been made. And so, randomly I'll get on and people are tagging me and something will be watched like 14 million times and I didn't even post it, So that is the power of TikTok. Just random human beings making something,
they're doing your marketing for you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So,
and
awesome.
I just feel like social media, there's so much negativity around it, but for someone like you and me, it's really helped, catapult our careers into something even bigger. And the coolest part about it is like, I don't have an agent. You don't, I don't know are you still independent?
I'm independent.
You're independent. 100%. And you can kind of do anything you want creativity-wise with your entire career. Social media is free. It is free marketing.
Crazy.
And look at, like, you're an exact example of how social media can make you successful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely changed my life. And like you were saying, I have a lot of friends who have big record label deals, and they're spending sometimes millions of dollars to market their music and get it in the right, ears. And what's crazy about the internet is you can spend $0 and have millions of people find a song in a day. And so we're living in like this kind of gold rush opportunity. It feels very young still, even though I feel like I got on early. I still feel like it's early for everyone.
I completely agree. Are you being approached at all by record labels now from, how successful you've been?
Yeah, it's definitely a part of the equation, and I didn't set out to be like the Macklemore of country music and like have no label or anything.
That.
Yeah,
yes,
like that.
Yes.
It was never the goal. I think I moved to town, and I wasn't like a Belmont kid. Like Belmont's the college here that's like very industry heavy, and so I didn't have any of that going on. And the thing that I could always control was the fans. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll actually just go find real human beings who like the music. And I think everything else will kind of come around on the back end. I'm definitely interested. I feel like I always equate it to marriage. Like, of course I want to be married, but it's just got to be the right fit. And I'm not rushing it.
Do you have any, I don't want to say hatred, but a little bit of oh, now you want me. Okay, last year you didn't want me at all.
No,
and then now I
have empathy because it was all so new, and it kind of still is so new. So I think a lot of people, they're a business, right? They can only take on so much risk. And so my job is the word I always use is undeniable, where it just is to a point where everyone's like, well, of course it's gonna work, or it is working. So numbers like 100 million streams help. The following, we've built a 30,000 person text list.
Oh my gosh.
These kinds of things, when you stack them up next to each other, I think are when it gets more and more undeniable. And then the fun part is, instead of a label coming along and saying, we're just gonna develop you, we get to own 98% of your business, all those things, I get to say, no thanks, I don't need that. I need a couple things. I need big boy radio, I need big boy tour support, and we need, more than just a little bit of capital injected.
You're learning along the way what you don't want and what you want too. It's literally a relationship.
I'm in a really great position, so I feel really lucky, honestly.
Do you have any help though? Who is doing the text list? Is it all you?
The social media stuff is all me. Yeah, I have an amazing manager. His name's Jeff Cherry. Shout out, Jeff. We also have a day-to-day Morgan, who we just added on our team.
Nice.
But yeah, it's just us. It's a small ragtag team, and I think that is the power of the internet, is you don't need hundreds of human beings running around. I think why I feel confident on the internet is because I learned how to do it.
Right.
So it's not like I'm having a team of people on a daily basis. I'm failing and learning. So it kind of makes me confident when I'm going to post or I have a new single coming out of what to do.
So in my, in quotes, world, I recently became a model, but I'm not a model. I don't have an agent. And so for me, it's a very weird stigma that I don't have an agent. So I'm not, that I can't be that high level. Is there any stigma around you not having, the record label? Is there any stigma around those artists in Nashville that are oh, I'm signed to Big Machine or whatever versus independent? Is there any of that weirdness?
Yeah, I think the industry really wants to protect what it's built, which is this club of people helping each other out in favors and politics and sometimes nepotism, whatever, all that exists. So we lose out on opportunities when, so-and-so's going on tour. Obviously, they're going to take the other person signing the same label. But again, that word undeniable, if you keep kind of chasing that and the real fans, I think that can trump some of the other stuff eventually, where it kind of flips. So I think people are just really cautious with all the TikTok stuff, because we've also seen some things flash in the pan and go away, which I think is always real, and that's in any genre, in movies and actors, models, singing. So it's a very natural part of something new. But I think the internet as a whole is very here to stay, and so I feel very confident in my ability to push music and find fans, and that's just fun for me because it's a control thing. I get to hold on to it.
And you feel you're so good at social media already, and I think the whole thing about being, in quotes, an influencer and being good at social media is evolving with social media. And I feel like you are a great example of that too, of you have to evolve to everything, the trends that are happening at the moment, and keep up with everything going viral, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm constantly, sometimes I feel like I'm just sitting there watching TikTok, but my brain is kind of taking stuff in,
Same.
which, you know what I mean? Like,
You're
you're almost
never
doing this
turned
little
off.
research.
You're never turned off.
Never fully off.
And it's kind of sucks because you just want to like enjoy TikTok or enjoy Instagram or social media, and you can't ever really turn that off if you're doing social media as a business, which is hard.
You know exactly what that is. Yeah,
literally exactly. Does it ever? I wouldn't say the word annoy you, but does it ever kind of annoy you that it's like, oh my gosh, you're doing so well recently, you're so successful recently, and then it's like people think it just was like almost like overnight success when you've been working on it for so many years, and like, you know, like when you've been working on something for so long and then it just finally like takes off. Is that a weird feeling?
It is a weird feeling. I mean, like I said, like I'm basically 7 years in at this point, so. For me, it feels like a long time. To a lot of people, they just found me in the last year or two. So they're like, oh, you're up and coming. And to me, I'm like, I've been doing this forever.
I know.
You know, but I have empathy for those people. Like, they are just seeing me, or they're just hearing me on like the highway or the radio or whatever for the first time. So
exciting, by the way.
Thank you so much.
The highway, I feel
wow.
like right when you were on the, not that I'm a fucking country singer or anything, but when you're on the highway, you made it. You know you made it.
It's a big part of that. I didn't even realize like how much that would change everything. Being on the highway has definitely like, it's upped everything. And even at shows, I can just feel when I sing my person, there's just this different thing that happens where I can be like, you know, it's like number 9 on the countdown this week. So people just freak out just when you say that, you know, like even like it was streaming like crazy, but then all of a sudden I'll have kids from my high school being like, I heard it on the radio. It just flips something over, you know, which is great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That song and Made like give me chills every freaking time I listen to it. I want to hear a little bit more on how you got started too, because I think it's really cool. A lot of people might not know this, that you were a college football player. Mm-hmm. You were on a scholarship and you played in college. Mm-hmm. So cool. And how you really transitioned from being a football player to a country music singer. Because you're from Colorado, correct? Yeah, from Denver. Which, you know, Denver, I mean, they don't produce a lot of country music singers.
They produce pretty much none. It's like Ingrid Andress, who's crushing. There's a girl named Claire Dunn.
Oh, I know her.
And...
you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that transition from football to music.
I didn't do music growing up. I was not the kid who could play a bunch of instruments or anything. So I went to college. Football was my life. I thought that was my end-all, be-all. Turns out I'm too short and slow and all those things, but I learned that when I got there, and I had 2 really big shoulder surgeries that doctors were just like, please stop. Like, if you want to throw the ball to your kid or do a push-up as an adult, please stop playing sports. So I was like, okay. I didn't, you know, that was my identity, which was really scary because I remember going to parties and like, people would be like, what do you do? And I wouldn't even say my major. I'm like, oh, I'm a football player. Like, that's just who I was. So I felt like I just needed a new identity. And I asked myself what I liked. I love music. I kind of knew that I could sing a little bit, but I never like tested that out. So I just started posting like, little covers. I picked up a little Walmart guitar that I stole from my little brother.
How old are you at this age?
19.
19, which I feel like is really late when you're getting into, it's not obviously at all.
It's not
looking back.
Looking back, correct.
It's so early, but in terms of like becoming a musician and a famous artist, it's like, wow, usually you start at like 7 years old. You know, you hear those stories all the time. So it's like, I feel like that's just so inspiring.
I really had to like start from the ground up. I didn't know how to play the guitar. I'd never written a song. And I had sang in church until I was like 10. And then my voice changed. And I was like, okay, well, I can't sing anymore. Like, puberty smacked me in the face. I was like, all right, great. That's not for me. So, yeah, it's been a lot of work and a lot of like failure, if I'm being honest. Like, just you write hundreds and hundreds of songs and then you basically throw them away. And it's just the process of learning to do that. So I did that in my dorm room for a year, 2, 3, and I got up to like, you know, like 100K on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
And people would say, are you in town? And I would go, what's in town? Like, I'm in a town. Yeah. Like, no, are you in Nashville? So I said, no. And so I started taking trips. And I came out here in January 2016. And I took a trip every month for like 8 months. And just one meeting led to one meeting, led to one meeting kind of thing. And I met so many of my best friends, my co-writers, my collaborators. And my manager and I have worked together from the start, from the dorm room. So it's so fun to do all this together because he's seen from the super shitty first songs we ever wrote to like being on the radio together. That's such a fun thing to go through. So all that together is like really surreal. Like the other day I was at a show and it's sold out. There's human beings singing my songs back to me, and I just had this little flash of literally learning a chord in my dorm room, like for the first time.
You're gonna cry.
Like, this is crazy, this like progression. So
to like take
feels
it all
really
in,
good. Yeah,
like breathe and be like,
trying to.
Oh my God, like this is crazy, and like knowing that it's only gonna get bigger is like terrifying but amazing at the same time.
Yeah, for some reason the goal has just always been to play a football stadium. Like,
Hell yeah.
I went and saw Kenny Chesney growing up, and I would go to those shows. Every person you ever met somehow was at the show, and it was like the best night of everyone's summer. And I just remember being like, that is like the most fun thing in the world. So when I got into music, maybe it's my extreme personality and addictive nature, but I was like, I just want to do it to the nth degree. So what does that mean? It's a football stadium. So.
I feel like whatever you do, and if you believe in yourself, you kind of have to have that thought too. Because no one's gonna believe in yourself more than you. And if you don't
100%.
dream big enough like that, it's like, okay, then what's the whole point? Like, you have to be able to set a goal as well when you're getting into something. And I think obviously it's a very attainable goal for you. I don't think it's too far off of where you are right now. But I also wanna go back to football to music.
Yeah.
Because it's a very different transition and like of like what you're doing. Did you get any haters at all? And like people being like, what the fuck are you doing now? Like, and so confused.
Oh yeah, people, I had a couple, like some friends that kind of ended up not being friends, and also some just really good friends would always tease that they'd call me Troy Bolton, like from High School Musical.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, like captain of the football team, tries to start a singing career like super randomly. And they weren't wrong. I think it is kind of funny when you first start, because eventually you just have to start saying, oh, I'm a country music artist. And like the first 2 months you feel like a fraud. You have
Imposter syndrome.
It's 100%. And it really doesn't go away for a long time. Even now, sometimes I'm doing stuff, I'm like,
Am I?
wait, have I earned any of this or whatever? So, but a lot of it's just having the confidence and saying, I am okay dying on this sword. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love. So I'm going to go for it. And it is a weird transition. It's a lot of failing like in public. And so I think I kind of just put my head down and didn't care about what anybody thought except for myself for like 2 years.
You can't really care about other people's opinions, because I think that's when people give up the most, is
100%.
when you've been doing something for so many years and you don't see anything and people are talking about you and it's like, wait, should I really be doing this? And you're questioning yourself. If you just keep going and you know that you're meant to do that and you're passionate about it, I feel like when you put in that patience and the persistence, it can like really, really take off. And obviously you're again a perfect example of that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it is a lot of patience and persistence and so many no's. I mean, I have met with a lot of record labels in town when I first moved to town, or like when we first took trips, and it was just like, no, and we don't really get it. So it's fun to like, and they weren't wrong. I think that's the tough part, is you almost know like, shit, like, I don't think I'm there either. So then to go and like prove yourself to yourself is really satisfying. And to like have a hunch about TikTok and then for it to work, to have a hunch about which songs to pick and for those things to work. It's very gratifying on this side when, people are calling you Troy Bolton, to now those people asking you, hey, do you have any spare tickets for when you're in Denver?
God, that's amazing.
That's the flip. So
like,
it's fun and they get,
Yeah.
They get to live with that, and I get to live with what I'm doing.
Exactly. So okay, now going to your songwriting, Made and My Person specifically, did you write them about someone?
Yeah, well, My Person for sure.
Oh.
Made more about like what I want, what I'm working towards, what I've seen, what I, like my parents have been together for 35 years, which is incredible. And they're like still in love and kicking it and been through hell and back in a lot of ways with tons of things in my family. And I've just watched them battle and choose each other over and over and over. So that's an amazing example. I have a couple friend couples who are like either slightly younger than me, my age, or older, who are kind of a good example for Made. And then I think Made is my almost like a love letter to myself and my future person of like, this is what it will take.
Right.
And I've had failed relationships because I or them or both of us didn't work hard enough at it or like choose it. And I think I was a little frustrated by that. So I think it's like almost a song to my future self of like, this is what it's gonna take. It's almost more like the prequel to My Person of like, if you can get through Made, if you can get through the 2 a.m. fights and the crazy shit that life throws at you, then there's the fairy tale moment of the first dance and saying you're my person. So.
And the realisticness of being in love as well. You know, it's not always rainbows and butterflies and everything you see on social media. Like, it is those, like, fights and having to compromise and everything. You know, that's why I love it so much.
That's why post my person, I knew I couldn't just put out another, like, you're the best, this is awesome kind of song. I wanted to, like, kind of tell people what it really is, at least in my opinion, which is a ton of fucking hard work and working it out. And it's not sexy and fun. Usually made the song in a movie is like the montage where it's like 2 minutes of like, and they had some rough times and now we're here. We don't want to, we just want to skip that part.
Right.
But when you are, like, one of the lyrics is like forged in the same fire, that creates this, like, bond because you've been through so much crazy shit. So I think that is kind of what leads you to finding your person for realsies.
And when you wrote My Person, you guys are no longer together, I take it.
Correct.
Okay, so is it weird to sing a song about your ex?
It's so funny, like, that song has almost transcended. First of all, I still love that person. Like, we're, we have absolutely no bad blood, and, like, we're so grateful for everything we've been through together. So it doesn't make me sad because it's not like it's somebody I have, like, some toxic relationship with or that I don't like.
Totally.
It's more that just, it makes me happy because I lived it, and it makes me happy. Now that song is so much bigger than my own experience. It is, like, we were talking on the elevator right up here that me and Emily know the same person, and I sang his proposal here in Nashville and I sang My Person. That's what I think about when I sing that song is, like, the My Person challenge on TikTok, having hundreds of thousands of people using that song as the soundtrack to their love story. And so that, to me, like, it's my first song on the radio for real. It's like all these things. So that's kind of what comes to my mind before I necessarily think of, like, this is about my ex-girlfriend.
Totally. And how impactful it was. And, like, it's like people's first dance as well at their wedding, which is so crazy, by the way.
Last night I literally posted something like, and it just weirds me out in a great way, like that on every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night in the country right now, there's a bride and a groom, or just two humans looking at each other and going, this is the moment we've been waiting for. And they choose that song.
And they're literally dancing to your voice.
To my voice. The song that I wrote,
it's mind-blowing. It's really mind-blowing if you think about how much of an impact one song can have. And I feel like, you know how you date people for a reason?
Yeah.
And it's like, almost like, I don't know anything about, you know, your relationship, but it's like, something amazing came out of it. Like, this song, which, you know, really helped you with your music career, came out of it, which is incredible.
I don't know if everything happens for a reason, but I do think we can find meaning or reason in anything. And I definitely feel like I found, you know, why all that had to happen the way that it did, and just feel super lucky and grateful for that human being in my life. I feel lucky and grateful that that song came about when it did, right as TikTok came around. Like, I feel like I'm in a simulation a lot of times. So I feel very lucky. Awesome.
That's amazing. And so, because you're touring so much, I feel like you're focusing so much on your music career and growing. Are you dating at the moment?
I got asked this yesterday. I played golf with a buddy, and he's like, "What's the girl situation?" And I literally just was like, I forgot that it existed. I was like,
I love that.
Oh yeah, people do that. Like, people actually, you know, I'll be on a dating app, I'll talk to somebody for a day or two, and it has nothing to do with them. It's just like, I'm always, you know, I just won't respond because I'm sound checking, then going to VIP, then going to another venue, sleeping in the van, doing all this stuff. So it's a lot. I think right now, speaking of seasons, this is a season of, like, buckling down and trying to really hop up to that next level, and kind of, because I think this is almost like the hardest level to get through, which is, like, really breaking out and having a moment. So we're doing that. And I think hopefully all of that will come on the other side of the current stuff that we're doing.
Okay. So if you're, you know, kind of forgetting about that right now, what is your inspiration for some songwriting at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Luckily, I wrote so much of the love stuff that's going to be on this next project, like, in the last year or two. And it just happens to, like, that I just have kept loving it. Over these last years. So it's good because it is coming from a real place.
Right.
A lot of the breakup stuff came over the last year or two as well. So this is the first break that I've taken from songwriting in 7 years. I've never taken a break.
You kind of need that, though, for, like, not that I know it.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Needed it.
Yeah, it's like you can get in a rut with, like, I don't know, I'm just relating it to what I do, like, in a rut. And when you take a break from something, you come back 10 times stronger.
I can't wait. For the first time, I can't wait to write a song. I can't wait for January and February, and like we'll be in the studio. And I got a little burnt right before Made came out. I was just making TikToks and writing songs, and I felt like that was my entire life.
Yeah.
Which just isn't sustainable. And so
Takes the joy out of it.
I needed. The tour is awesome because it's kind of shaken me up. It's got me out of my routine. It's gotten me, meeting the human beings who have changed my life, which is the most fun thing ever. And I get to like creatively take a little break. The holidays will be awesome. Like it goes birthday, Christmas. I'm going to Costa Rica with my family, which will be amazing. So all that, I'll come back and like kind of feel on fire to write songs again. I'm excited.
Amazing. Do you have like any sense of routine when you are on tour as well? One question that I love to ask every single guest is like about their morning routine and their sense of routine, because I feel like that like creating a habit helps your mental health. And 12 states in 9 days, it's hard to have a little bit of a routine. So do you do anything every day that like kind of centers you or makes you feel like, okay, I feel like myself right now?
Yeah, I do a couple things. Like maybe it was this time last year, I got this thing called the 5-minute journal.
Yes.
Which has like been really helpful to my mental health. It's like a little gratitude list, what you want to accomplish that day. Just kind of like primes my brain a little bit in the morning. I'll do that, try to do that every day. Try to work out, even on the road, like shitty hotel gyms or whatever. Sometimes my manager will like be asleep. I'm in the corner like doing jumping jacks because I just have to get it in. It's very like helpful to my mental health. But routine-wise, like it is very hard to find, especially the stage I'm at. Like we're not on this massive tour bus, like just where, Zach Brown Band has a semi-truck of gym equipment. So that guy just pulls a Planet Fitness with him around the country.
Right.
That's amazing. We are, I try to keep like a kettlebell and some bands in the van.
Oh
so
my gosh.
That's the routine at least.
And is it just you three in the van?
Right now it's me, Morgan, Jeff, and then we have 3 players. So yeah, 6 of us on our little ragtag
And
crew.
you have to set up your...
All the
my
stuff.
God.
I mean, right now, like this is the stage where people from back home either think, one, like, they'll be like, how's the music going? Like, are you still doing that? Or they think I'm Keith Urban and they're all wrong.
People probably like glamorize it on Instagram or on social media as well. But I almost think like, it sounds really crazy. It's going to be so amazing having your own crew and like, that sets up wherever you go having a gym. But you're also going to miss these moments where it's like, oh my gosh, I literally grinded so hard and like how everything is so worth it. I think like when you look back on this as well, it's going to be like, holy shit, that was awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
I think I can already feel it right now where like the tour, we're a little bit more than halfway done. And I think at the end of it, I'll be like, oh, that was one of the most special moments of my life where like it was pre, buses and number ones or whatever the big dreams are. And there's something special in that. There's something special in that, like in the grind. You feel that in football too, where like you'll kind of have the training camp and then the preseason and the season. When you're over, you're like, man, I missed the like 2-a-days. I missed the like running till you puke. And it sounds crazy, but it's part of the story. So
and it's all about enjoying the ride. I know that sounds so cliche, but it's so true. It's all about the journey.
And I think the happier I am is the more that I realize it's not about playing the stadium. It's about enjoying the process trying to get to the stadium. And if I can love the day-to-day, if I can love the songwriting, if I can love waking up at 6 and fucking around with the guys in the van and stopping at random coffee shops, and even the bad shows and the good shows, everything in between, whether or not I play the stadium becomes irrelevant. And that moment will be so fast, like it'll be an hour and I'll be like, oh, I don't feel any different. Like I'm still Spencer. But if I have a lifetime worth of memories to get there, it'll all be worth it. So
you have a very positive outlook on life. I really, really enjoy it. It's really refreshing.
Thank you very much.
And on that note, actually, we have this segment called Mood Boosting Mantra, where it's like you say like a mantra, a quote, a motto that kind of rings true to you, and either where you got to today or anything that just like motivates you to wake up every single morning.
Create things I love with people I love. And if I'm doing that, then I seem to be pretty happy. I just love creating and I love humans. And so, again, that is not saying win awards, that's not saying stream, that's not saying radio, that's just create things I love with people I love. And I think the more I do that, the more it will just attract the right things and right people and keeps you pretty happy.
I really love that because so many of the times like we're like, I want to win this, I want to do that. And it's like at the end of the day, those accomplishments actually won't make us as happy as, what am I trying to say? Like the activity of doing it. You know what I mean? Like the accolades really mean nothing when you, it sounds so morbid, when you die. You know?
For real, like, and this, it'll sound morbid, but give me a second. I was just at a funeral or like a celebration of life. Nobody said this person's accolades. Nobody said, they were like, great mom, great teacher, and I loved my time with this person. They were funny. Like, that's how you are remembered. And I don't think any of us, on our headstone, it's going to be like X amount of streams. Like,
exactly.
No one gives a
Played
shit.
in a stadium.
How did you make people feel? Did you really enjoy the process? That's the important stuff.
I love that. Okay, now I have a segment for you. And you're going to really laugh at me so hard. But let me just pull up my notes. It's kind of like a little rapid fire of get to know Spencer.
Let's do it.
And because your songs are very like love related, it's kind of like a love
let's do it.
Q&A.
That's great.
First one, you can also say these very fast or elaborate.
Perfect.
When was your first kiss?
Certain people are like, nothing pre like high school count. Some people are like, no, like my first kiss is like 3rd grade. I'm gonna say like around 12, which I think you're kind of at that stage where like you can actually make a conscious decision like, oh, I'd like to kiss this human being. Kayla's wifeful on the playground, and I remember being like, do you want to be my girlfriend? She's like, yeah. I was like, cool, should we kiss? She's like, yeah.
I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Quick peck, and we're like, all right, I'll see ya.
It's so funny.
And like talked like once a week for
literally
like a month.
On AIM maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I had like 3 boyfriends in middle school, didn't even hold their hands.
No.
And they're like, yeah, I love you so much, boyfriend.
ILY, what are you doing? Let's play 20 questions, like all the tropes. Yeah,
I love
definitely
it. I love it. Okay, romantically, what are you looking for?
Man, that's a great question. I usually go to like someone who can make me laugh. I love just sense of humor and messing around and not taking life super seriously. Just kind of like a best friend, that's the goal.
I really love that. Do you believe in love at first sight?
No, I don't at all. I think like infatuation at first sight is super real.
I like that.
To like love somebody is to really like, hopefully is to like know them deeply, so.
What celebrity would you want to take on a date?
They hypothetically break up with their significant other?
Yes, yes. We're not talking yeah.
Okay. Assuming that they're single, I'm gonna go with Taylor Swift. Like, she just seems like an incredible human being. Even if like it didn't work out, I just want to go have dinner with her. And
she's so cool. She's so smart too. She's brilliant.
Don't get me started on my Taylor Swift fandom. We can go.
Well, coming out this week, the album. Oh my gosh. Favorite emoji to use when flirting?
I usually do the, he's like smiling. He's got like a little bead of sweat. He's kind of like, it's kind of like this.
Yeah. I love that. Like kind of cringy. Like, did I say the right thing?
Yeah.
Biggest turn on?
I'm gonna go with, like, again, funny. Like somebody who genuinely makes me laugh.
Yeah, good banter. And then last question, biggest turn off?
Maybe like just general rudeness. Like you ever been on a date with somebody and they're like, oh, this waiter sucks.
Or they're like mean to the waiter and
it's like, whoa,
who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yelling at people in traffic, or like, I was on a date with this girl, it was going pretty well, and then she answered the phone and it was her mom. She's like, what the fuck do you want? I was like,
oh my God. Why would she do that?
I don't know. It just seemed like a lot. It's very aggressive.
Oh
so
my
probably
God.
just some general like rudeness.
Even if like you are like that to your mom, because I'm not saying I'm that rude to my mom, but like sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want that, right? Or like I'm a little bit aggressive or sassy. I would never do that in the first 2 months of dating someone.
No, definitely not. Definitely not the first 2 hours.
Definitely not. That's a very big red flag right there.
I think so.
Well, Spencer, where can everyone find you?
Just on the internet, at Spencer Crandall, at Spency Boo on Twitter. I made it when I was 14. At Spencer Crandall on all the things.
Okay, amazing. And what do you have coming up next?
We have, I just put out a new single called Made, so everybody can go check that out.
So good.
Thank you very much. And then hopefully a couple more singles at the top of the year, and then a project that I can't actually necessarily talk about a ton, but just know there is a ton of new music, some really fun touring opportunities. And I have a podcast called Why Are We Here? where we just have a lot more of these awesome conversations.
To end this show, yesterday I had other country artists, and when I have country artists on, we're just gonna do a little outro of like a little harmonization.
Oh.
And I'm really bad, so
Okay.
we're just gonna. It's just a funny
Great.
way to end it. What would you like to sing?
Follow you. Oh gosh.
My person.
Let's do that. Ready?
All right, I don't
Let's
know.
pick a key that we can sing it.
You sing first. What are you gonna sing?
What are we gonna sing?
Oh gosh, I'm nervous.
What is
I'm
like
sweating.
the title of this? Let's just.
I don't know anything. I'm making this up.
Okay.
I cannot sing Made, by the way. It's way too hard.
Oh, I can barely sing Made.
Made. I'm like,
Thank God it's the last song in the set. Let's see. Let's just keep it super simple, like just a little goodbye from Nashville or something like this.
Okay, like goodbye from Nashville.
Perfect.
Okay, ready?
Is that the key?
Yeah. Goodbye from Nashville. Ready?
The fade. Ready? Okay, I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna do a little
Okay.
falsetto and I'll just sit on top. Ready?
Okay, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Goodbye from Nashville. Thank you, you're the best.
Of course.